Hi there, I'm Java Jim with First Line Equipment, and welcome back to our YouTube channel here. As you can see, I have a nice Lelit t-shirt. Unfortunately, Lelit's not giving any of these out, but if you look back here, we just received in the Bianca and Nero Mara X Espresso and Cappuccino machines. These commercial grade machines are phenomenal. It's actually so phenomenal that one of the competitors tried to copy some of the technologies that have been built into this compact commercial espresso machine. The gift is a t-shirt, okay, and it is in very limited quantities. So if you watch this video a year after publication, those t-shirts are probably gone, but it is limited to the stock that we just received. We got a nice little gift, and you can proudly own a nice Lelit t-shirt. I believe they are in white. They're not the same. They say Mara X on them. Really nice. I don't have any here because I don't want to take them out of the packaging because then somebody complains. So we have the white and the black. These new models here have the walnut wood on and a light walnut on the, actually I think it's maple. I have to double check on that. The tamper, the knobs, and the portafilters. And new Lelit logos with some printing that's fairly new up on these units here. So take a look at them on our website. We already have built up a waiting list, so these are going to move quite rapidly. Really nice machines. And actually another upgrade that's on these that I haven't seen on the stainless yet, they did improve the feet. So Lelit's always making improvements. Maudo over there in Lelit, he's always looking, trying different things, and trying to improve the products at Lelit. And that's one of the reasons why Lelit went to the forefront against the competition or the competitive manufacturers. Just to go over on the upgraded versions that people have been speaking about for almost the past year on the Mara X, we have the extended steam valves, okay, and hot water valves. We also have the IMS baskets that are now included, and many folks like and prefer those baskets. As far as what I call the OPV drain system or the overpressure valve system, in the first version, people were complaining there's too much water coming out of the spout when you're making espresso or extracting espresso, because the OPV would open up and redirect to the spout. Now, I spoke to a dealer several months ago, and at first, you know, the way this was presented to us was that hot water or that water goes back to the water tank, but it actually doesn't. And is actually, when I said hot water, it's really not hot water. The reason is another manufacturer years ago put the OPV on the heat exchanger, and hot water was exiting the OPV and then going back to the tank on a return tube. But in this case, the OPV is before the boiler refill valve. It's before the heat exchange pipe. So it's really, on this machine, cold water that goes back on the return tube. But there are no tubes that go to the water tank. So the water's really not going back to the water reservoir. It's actually just recirculating through the tubes, and they put a Y in right after the pump. So as the pump engages, it's basically recycling that water from the OPV, and it's cold water back through the system. Okay, the other reason you get excess water is when you have the machine in coffee mode, it tries to maintain temperature stability. And again, this is where Lelit went to the forefront and said, hey, we want the heat exchange to be stable, because if you did your research, you see a lot of people saying cooling flush, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 ounces, 4 ounces, depending on the machine. Well, the machine was doing a cooling flush, but the water was going back to, guess where? The drip tray. And that would fill over 2 days. So Lelit listened to its customers. I wasn't crazy because I thought it might have been hot water going back, but it kind of recycles the water that's in the tubes to kind of bring the temperature down. And they really did a good job with that. The other thing that they changed was the switch on the side here, which you have X now steam mode and then X coffee mode. I believe in the up position it's steam mode. What that means is you go lift the lever to extract your espresso and the heating element goes on because cold water is coming in, but it also gives you more steam performance. Okay, the very first Mara X prototype that was made for the US, I received it here. And when they sent me this machine, I said, this machine is garbage. I said, because there's no steam and it didn't have a switch for building steam. It was primarily just for straight espresso. So I was like, what do you need a heat exchanger for when you don't have any steam power? So that's where the steam, that switch came in. Now in X coffee mode, when you put it on this particular version 2, it doesn't send power to the heating element when you're making espresso. So it kind of uses that stabilized temperature. Okay, and it was pretty stable to begin with from my testing on the version 1. Now the other thing is, on the version 1s, if you lifted up the lever, or actually take that back, if you went to go steam milk, you didn't have a lot of power because the steam power was engaged by the heating element every time you lifted up the lever. So if you were in coffee mode in version 1 and you lifted that lever up 3-4 times, it was going over temp. So in version 1, coffee mode was good for 1 or 2 shots of espresso. The third one was a little warmer or hotter as far as the water hitting the coffee grinds. So this is where we basically want to stabilize the temperature. So in coffee mode, you're not going to get as much steam power. Okay. The other thing that they talk about in their little advertisement here is that you can have steam boost, where you just lift up the lever, bring it down, and it engages a higher steaming performance for about 120 seconds, which is a nice feature because if you're not making espresso and you just want to make a hot chocolate or something, you're good to go. Again, let me just double check their notes here, my notes. I think I have everything covered. Oh, the little thing that's probably not as important, they changed the logo here a little bit. Silk screen, they call it. I'm not sure a silk screen in a plastic tank, but and there's a new silk screen logo here. Big whoops for me, but that's pretty much it. I actually did cover it. Good memory. Another little tidbit they didn't tell you. There is a plastic film here on the front with a little note. They left it on here. You can leave this. Once it gets all discombobulated, you can remove it. I suggest leaving it. They say take it off before use, but it just protects the finish. Typically what happens is on these bodies, there's a film over the stainless. They take it off. Some manufacturers leave the film on all around, let you take it off. So it all depends on the manufacturer, but good quality, commercial grade components from the steam valves to the group head. And just a little tidbit, Lelit actually renamed their E61. I'll leave it up to you to go research that. There are a couple little minor differences. That's why their flow controls don't always work on other brands or manufacturers of machines. But these are some of the things that, you know, they leaped to the front. And I think there's more to come as well. Don't ask me when version 3 is coming. I couldn't answer because they keep these things a secret, including myself. If you have any questions, comments, please ask down below. Thank you for watching. Once again, Java Jim with First Line Equipment. Coffee first, everything else second, and have a great day.